Hi there, this is Georgia. This is my vertical sleeve gastrectomy weight loss journey. This is video number 16. Today is January 13th. It's a Monday in 2020. This video is going to be posted at a later date. My first video, which I recorded last August, was just posted beginning of January. Today is 5 weeks and 2 days after my operation, which was on December 6th. I weighed myself on Friday, which marked the end of 5 weeks after the surgery, and I was 257. Today I'm 255.8. But after 5 weeks, I lost a total of 42 pounds since my highest recorded weight. That means that is the size of a canoe or 5 gallons of water. That's a lot of pounds. In this video, first I want to show a little bit of a difference between me today versus me 1 week after the surgery. And I'm going to insert it right here. Now, the differences are small, but I feel it's important to notice the small differences because I had a 2-week stall, and during those 2 weeks, I was very upset. I was getting a little depressed and I felt like a failure because you go on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and you see these people like the before and afters. Obviously, it's been a year, but you're so motivated and you want to be like them and reach those weight losses, like 100 pounds weight loss. But let's enjoy the beginning of the weight loss journey. Let's take credit for the little wins along the way. And even though it's only 10 pounds different between picture 1 and picture 2, we need to celebrate it. Not celebrate it by eating or anything, but notice it. Notice that there's a difference. And that's why I'm making this videos, so you can see the difference gradually and not just jump ahead to like, oh, she lost 100 pounds. Why am I stalling at week 5, The second thing I want to mention is that I posted my second video 2 days ago, and I kind of rewatched it, and I was like looking at myself and I'm like, oh my god, I can see that like some sort of difference on my face. And also, like, it was interesting to watch it and seeing my thoughts, views, fears before everything, and I wanted to compare it to how it is right now. So I've made some notes here, so don't mind me, I keep looking down and then talking to the camera. So what bothers me so far, and then I'm gonna get into the comparison, what Georgia thought week 2 and what Georgia thinks today. I know I'm talking about myself on the third person. I do that sometimes. So what bothers me the most so far is, one, yes, I noticed some differences, but there are days that I put myself down and I'm like, I'm still fat. I haven't lost that much weight. Other people, week 5, they lost 50 pounds, and I'm week 5 and I've only lost 40 pounds. So don't do that to yourself. I still do that to myself, but I need to keep reminding myself to not do that. Take the victories as they come. Another thing is that people notice. Some people notice, some people don't notice. A lot of people don't comment, and it bothers me in the sense that I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, I can't see a difference. And then I expect validation from other people to be like, oh, I haven't seen you for a while. Have you lost weight? Because other times when I've been on a diet or people hadn't seen me for a while, they will notice. and they will mention something. But we need to remember that not everyone comments on weight gains and losses. I'm Greek, and in my culture, usually the aunts, the uncles, the cousins, or especially the older ones, will always comment on my weight. And not only my weight, but everyone in the family. The first thing they will say, hey, how you're doing? Haven't seen you for a long time. The second thing they will comment on is the weight. Have you gained weight? Have you lost weight? You look great. You look tired. But it's one of the first things that comes in the conversation is weight gain or weight loss. And I went to a baptism yesterday where I saw a lot of family that I haven't seen since September. And I was expecting a lot of people to be like, oh, you lost weight. But that didn't come up. And it kind of bothered me. I'm like, doesn't anyone notice? But later on in the evening, people would come up to me and tell me, you look great. You look like you've lost weight. So that kind of makes me feel better. So point I'm trying to make, it should not bother me whether people are commenting or not on my weight loss. I'm going through this journey for myself. I should stop seeking validation from other people. And maybe this is an advice you want to follow as well. Stop looking for validation from other people. You know how much you lost. You know what you're going through. You see the difference, even if some days you don't. Be realistic. Be nice to the person in the mirror. People will try to give you advice on how to eat. I find hilarious. Will tell you, don't eat this, you're not eating enough, you're eating too much. No one knows. Your program knows, my binder here knows, your stomach knows. Just eat slowly, eat what you're allowed to eat. Give yourself time between bites, and the only one that knows how much you should be eating is not you, it's your stomach. Because the fatty up here wants to eat everything in sight. But you have to remember that this little new baby tummy cannot handle shit. So you have to eat according to your new belly, not according to what your aunt is telling you, or not according to what the fatty in your head is telling you. Because the fatty in your head will never stop being a fatty. Now, in my second video, I said that I lost weight trying the keto diet, but it was more of a lifelong commitment. And as soon as I stopped it, I gained the weight back. And I feel like with the surgery, it's going to be helpful, or I didn't say easier, and it's not easier. The vertical sleeve gastrectomy is a lifelong commitment. It's just that I find that it's more helpful than saying I'm going on a keto diet because of the portion control so far. And I do understand that portion control will not stick around forever. So I have to start enjoying the portion control now. Make sure that I'm intaking the right nutrition for the amount of food that I can eat. But I have to figure out what I'm going to do once this stage goes away. And another thing is that stop chasing the fullness, stop chasing the hunger, feeling like the hunger will be there. And I think weeks 4, maybe 5 and 6, I'm doing much better, much better. Now, another thing that I mentioned is that you lose a lot of weight in the beginning, and that gives you the incentive to move forward. I feel at the time when I was making video 2, I thought my weight loss will be more drastic than it is. It is very drastic. I mean, I've lost 45 pounds since November 15th, and now we're sitting January 13th. So in 2 months, I lost 45 pounds. I don't think there's another diet or program out there that will have you lose 45 pounds in 2 months. So maybe in your head, you're feeling that it's not enough. You're feeling you're not doing well enough. But put it into perspective. When was it the last time you were on a diet and you lost 45 pounds in 2 months? I mean, according to your weight, right? So if someone was 350 pounds, after 2 months, maybe they lost 55 pounds. But for someone like myself who started at like 298, I've lost 45 pounds. It's a good, it's like a good ratio of weight loss according to your starting weight. At this point, I'm going to insert a picture that I took from a chat that is from a website, so it's not mine. You can see a little bit of the website that's taken from, so you can have an idea whether or not you're tracking your weight loss correct. And I'm always, whenever I feel bad or I feel my weight loss is not significant, I go back to that picture and I'm like, okay, I'm doing okay. And here's the picture. And yeah, always keep references and keep reminding yourself you're doing okay. That's what I'm doing. Whenever I feel bad, I have to go back and check with myself and be like, I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. And then another thing I mentioned is like, yeah, I'll lose a lot of weight, and then it's a matter of discipline. Mistake. It's not a matter of discipline after the weight loss. It's a matter of discipline from maybe day 3 after surgery. Day 3, or maybe let's say a week after surgery. So the first week is chaos. It's a mess. I've made a video about week 1. It's I don't know, like emotionally you're a mess. Food wise, you're a mess. Like you can't eat, you can't drink, everything's, you have to retrain yourself to do everything basically. So after week 1, if you're healing well, you can dabble into trying things you should not. This fatty here did. So it's a matter of discipline. It was hard because week 3 was during Christmas break, and week 4 was during New Year's, and it was very hard. I didn't do horrible. I could have done better. Point is, it's not a matter of discipline after you lose the weight in the beginning, or after the blissful first few weeks that you keep dropping and you can't eat. It's a matter of discipline right from the get-go. So yeah, it wasn't the easy way out like people say. It's not, because the fatty up here still wants to eat. Another thing that I thought, and I mentioned video too, is that I won't be as hungry and I will not be able to eat certain foods. Lie and lie. So you don't feel hungry in terms of like, I don't feel as hungry as I felt before. Also, I can't eat as many times or as much as I used to eat before. But you do feel hungry. You could eat more than you should if you snack, especially if you're eating the wrong snacks. Calories can build up pretty fast, and the wrong kind of calories can build up very fast. So discipline, be careful, log, record, pay attention to what you put in your mouth and in your stomach. I won't be able to eat certain foods. No. I can tolerate pretty much everything. Now I just finished week 5, and some people might be like, how do you know you can tolerate pretty much everything, Georgia? Aren't you supposed to not be eating everything? Yes, my dear friend, that is correct. But this fatty right here, during Christmas break and New Year's, tried things that I shouldn't have. I tolerated them. I was counting too much on the dumping syndrome that never happened. So to this day, I had dumping syndrome, but I didn't even vomit. I just felt a little bit like, uneasy, or like not even I was gonna be sick. Like I went to the bathroom and I had diarrhea after I had a small little bite of bread. But anything else that I've tried that I shouldn't be eating didn't give me dumping syndrome. Now, mind you, anything that I've had that I'm not supposed to have, we're talking about a teaspoon max. Like I had a teaspoon of like whipped cream and pudding during Christmas, or at the baptism I was the other day, they had cake pops. I cracked one open and I took a little piece like that and I put it in my mouth and I was like, yummy, whatever. It didn't give me the dumping syndrome. Should I have done that? No. Do I recommend you do that? No. And don't open that door. I opened that door. That's my one regret, that I opened that door. I should have been more scared. Does that mean I'm going to be a failure? Some people might think I'm going to be a failure, but I don't think I'm going to be a failure because I don't binge, I don't snack, and I don't do it repetitively. I don't ask for it. I don't crave it. Then why did I do it? I don't know. I just took a little taste. Now, could that taste turn into a full-on cake pop in a year? Maybe. I'm not going to go looking for it, but I am doing better and I am in control. I feel like 99% of the time. Now, at that point, I understood a lot about regain and that failure is also an option, basically, that this could fail because it has failed many people. I just realizing now, though, that you could fail very shortly after you've done your surgery, because it's very easy, and I can see it with myself now. It's very easy to fail this early on. If you are healing well and your stomach can handle things like my stomach can, you can easily try to eat things that you shouldn't be eating. And then once you tolerate them, you can go back to your old habits. Yes, your portions are going to be very small, but if you keep going at it and if you keep pushing yourself, which I haven't, I don't feel I have felt sick or pushing myself too much this entire time. But I could easily see how someone could fail this early on, especially if your stomach is healing well. So if you keep, let's say you can't eat pasta, but you tried a couple of pieces of pasta and then you see you can tolerate them, and then the next time you have a little bit more and a little bit more, to the point where instead of having, what you're supposed to be having, you're having a small, half a cup of pasta. And then your stomach is getting used to it and you're able to digest it. Next thing you know, the week after, you can have a cup of pasta at one sitting. And then next thing you know, you're having a cup of pasta 12 p.m. and then a cup of pasta at 2 p.m. and then a cup of pasta at 4:30, and then at 9. And then you basically had a full meal of just pasta in a day, which gave you no nutritional value, the wrong calories, and you keep bloating your stomach. So this is something that it's doable and it's possible. So again, it was not the easy way out. You still have to make decisions that are right for yourself and for your body, and you still have to make conscious choices and smart choices. And I gave that example. Obviously, I haven't done that and I'm not going to do that. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you're counting on the dumping syndrome, if you're counting to the fact that you're not going to be hungry, living proof right here that that's not always the case. Some people have a horrible time for the first 2 weeks. The third week they try to introduce stuff and nothing's going down like it's supposed to. Are they lucky or unlucky? I don't know. All I know is that if I want to try something, I can tolerate it, and you could easily fall off the wagon even 5 weeks after surgery or 3 weeks after surgery. Easily. easily, because I can, like I told you, I was able to tolerate ground beef early on. Fine, I wasn't eating ground beef every day though. I was able to, like, bread I can't tolerate. Rice I haven't tried, or pasta, and I'm not going to because I don't want to open that door. But I could tolerate pureed foods earlier, and I could tolerate softer foods earlier. Easily, you can introduce things that you shouldn't be introducing, and if you tolerate them, you can fall off the wagon. Now, how do I keep things in check so far? I log everything before I eat it. Before I eat it, I will weigh it. I will put it on my FitnessPal app. And if I see that the nutritional value is good enough for me, then I will consume it. If it's not good enough, well, first I check the nutritional value. Then I will see how much of that I can have. And then I weigh it, measure it, portion it, eat it. Eat slow. You have to eat slow. You have to take your time. It's okay if everyone else on the table is done and you're still eating. Take your time. If you try to eat too fast, you're going to get full too fast. You're going to feel sick too fast. So take your time, chew really well, take small bites, and always log and measure your food. The binder that I have says that usually people in the first 6 weeks approximately consume anywhere from 300 to 600 calories. First 2 weeks, definitely 300 to 400 calories, depending on what you're consuming. Now I'm at week 5, going into week 6. I finished week 5. I'm during week 6. I can consume around 600 calories easily. When I say easily, I'll tell you where these 600 calories come from. But also I could see that I can reach 700 or 800 calories depending on what you're consuming and how much you're consuming of it. Let me break it down for you. So I'm gonna insert an example of 2 days here, where I have my calories and the breakdown of the macronutrients. So the one day, which was January 8th, I ate 522 calories, but it was all good calories because most of it was protein, very little carbs, and some fat. The other day, on Saturday, January 4th, I consumed only 485 calories, but it was not ideal because most of it was fat. Not most of it, but again, I had a lot of protein, but it was way more fat and more carbs. The goal should be more protein, especially at this stage. The point is that you could eat less calories, but if it's the wrong kind of calories, then you're not helping yourself. And then you could eat more calories, but it's all good nutrition, so you're not failing. How can I reach that high of calories that early on? I don't think I could eat that much more depending on what you're consuming, but I have a Premier protein shake in the morning. That's already 160 calories, but it is 30 grams of protein. If I have 2 of those a day, that's already 320 calories, right? And then I sometimes have a protein water, which I'm upset because they don't have it available in Canada, and I ordered it on Amazon, and it's an amazing product, especially for bariatric patients, because it's a 500 ml bottle of water that it's 90 calories, but it has 20 grams of protein. So I could easily put in my protein and my water, right there. So let's say if I have 2 protein shakes, Premier protein shakes, that's 320, and then 90 calories the water, that's already 410. I already reached 410 calories, but I also have 80 grams of protein, and basically that's most of my nutritional value. Now, if I add a small meal to that, let's say soup, or like some kind of ground beef, or like if I have beans or lentils, then that's another 100 calories. Maybe the carbs will go up a little bit, but then we're going from, it was like 320 plus 90, that's 410, and then another 100, 510. So you can see how my calories can go up to 510 just from drinking like, 2 protein shakes, 1 bottle of water, and 1 small meal. And my typical day is that. My typical day will be 2 protein shakes, a protein water, and a meal, or a protein shake, a protein water, and 2 little meals. Now, if those 2 little meals, I decide to have more cheese, or I decide to have like something that's a little more high in calorie and high in fat, then you can see how the 485 calories are worse than the 522 calories due to what you've picked to consume. I'm gonna wrap up this video. This was kind of like an update on week 5. It was mostly comparing what I thought before the surgery versus like end of week 5 after the surgery, what I've learned. It's a kind of like a trial and error. It's also a little bit of an advice to those that are just starting their journey to like be careful, be aware, and go in it not thinking that it's a quick fix or a solution to all your problems. We're still fat up here. And no matter how ready you think you are, you're always going to have the fatty voice in here. And I do have the fatty voice in here telling me, I want food. I am putting it under control. It's every day I have to try. So for those that think this was the easy way out, I will confirm it one more time for you. This was not the easy way out. This is definitely not the easy way out. Do I have a little bit of an assistance because I can eat this little? Let me tell you, you can eat this little 8 times a day if you wish, and it can be like the worst thing possible and you failed at it. So every day I have to make a conscious decision that this much I can only have twice a day or 3 times a day, and it has to be the right stuff. Definitely not the easy way out. It's just a different way to weight loss, and I really pray this works for me. And if you're going into it, I really hope it works for you too. So this is the end of this video. This is video number 16. If you want to follow this journey, subscribe to my channel. If you want to watch my previous videos and kind of do a comparison like I did, you can go to my channel and check those out. Thank you for watching.